welcome to Chamber Chat. I'm Judy Taylor, President of the Habersham County Chamber of Commerce, and thank you for joining us today. I have 4 great guests today, so please stay with us. And my first guest is Dr. James Mellichamp, the newly appointed president of Piedmont College. Welcome, Dr. Mellichamp.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, I'm just so happy to have you. And Dr. Mellichamp, Piedmont College has been a major force in Habersham County for over 100 years. And we're just so happy that you are leading that great institution now. We just don't think they could have had a better pick, so we're happy to have you there. But we know that a lot of exciting things are going on there. A lot of new things are happening. And one thing happened, I guess it was last year now, that in my book is one of the most awesome things that you've done, and that was the opening of the Mason Sharpenstein Museum of Art. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that is a wonderful facility, one that we're very proud of, and I think something that's really unique for an institution the size of Piedmont to have.
It is.
And that came about because we have a trustee, Dr. Billy Mason from Birmingham, who has spent a lifetime collecting art and decided that there needed to be a repository for that. So we started talking, and you may remember when the Swanson Center opened, we had 2 galleries over there named for Dr. Mason. But frankly, he has so much art and continues to collect art that those galleries weren't big enough. And we were thinking about where we might house the art on campus, and those wonderful historic buildings in downtown Demorest seemed ideal to me. Our art department had been using those as facilities for teaching, but we knew that we needed to build new teaching facilities for the art department because it's been growing so much. And it just worked out well that we could convert those into the museum. And I'm happy because of the museum, but I'm happy also because we were able to preserve something that's really very historic, those buildings.
It is awesome. I've said this before, but it looks as if you have just sliced out a little bit of New York and just dropped it right into the middle of Demorest, Georgia. And I hear you have a new, I don't know if you're calling him a director or a curator.
Right. The new director was brought in just this month of July, and comes to us from the Birmingham Museum of Art.
Oh, really?
Where he's been on the staff there. He knew Dr. Mason and came very highly recommended, but we checked him out very thoroughly too, and he's going to be a wonderful addition to the staff there.
Well, I carried an out-of-town friend to see the old-time religion exhibit,
Yes.
the folk art
Yes.
exhibit, and we enjoyed that very much. But Dr. Mellichamp, I'm seeing a lot of new construction on your campus. Tell us, what are your new buildings going up?
Well, you know, we've had dirt in the air, as my predecessor, Dr. Clear, liked to describe it, for a number of years now, and we are taking possession of a new dormitory. We've built 4 new dorms in the last 6 years to keep up with the growing residential population. So one of those is a new men's residence hall for upper-class men named Ipswich Hall. We, of course, have New England roots at the college, and we've named several of the new buildings there after communities in New England. But the other building that I mentioned just a few minutes ago is the new art studio building down at the end of the Demorest Park.
Is it a classroom building? Or?
It's entirely studios for teaching painting, drawing, pottery, ceramics, graphic design, photography. It's just absolutely incredible. From the outside of it, it looks rather modern, which is how I think art buildings ought to look. But inside, it's just wonderful space for teaching all of those different applied areas in visual art.
Well, you all have such a curriculum and a program for students. I'm sure you're attracting students, particularly in the art area, and I'm sure you're attracting them from many states around.
Increasingly, they come from from further afield, and in fact that's a focus of ours. We started lacrosse, men's lacrosse last year, and women's lacrosse will start this fall, and I think that's going to attract students from out of state. That's a sport that I think took off originally in New England, but it's been spreading in the major metropolitan areas now. Most of the high schools have lacrosse programs.
Well, when you're speaking of lacrosse, I believe that Piedmont College you're under a new athletic conference now.
We are. We've moved to the USA South, and there were a couple of reasons for that, but primarily we wanted to offer our men's and women's teams the chance to have automatic bids in postseason play. And the previous conference we were associated with did not have enough teams to make that possible. So this allows for that to happen, but it also is a little bit wider geographical area from Virginia, really, all the way down the eastern seaboard.
Well, you know, Piedmont is, even though you're not a major college like football team or anything, you're known for your athletics because of the Johnny Mize Museum, the baseball museum, and Johnny Mize, and reasons like that. But Dr. Mellichamp, let's talk a little bit about your Athens campus, because many people up here don't even know you have an Athens campus.
It's a well-kept secret, sort of like Demarest, too. But we started offering courses in Athens about 14 years ago. And initially we offered courses in the evening and on weekends for non-traditional students. Later we broadened those to include day classes from the freshman through the graduate levels, all the way through the education doctorate. So there's a full range of professional type degree programs there with majors in business, education, nursing, and some social science.
So they could get those degrees there and never come up here?
Exactly.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay. Another thing that you have a dynamic school of business. It's headed, I believe, by Dr. John Meisner.
That's right.
And he's dynamic, so you have a dynamic school of business. And this past year, the Chamber and Piedmont College and North Georgia Technical College partnered. And we have something going for this community that I think is outstanding. And what we're doing is offering services to the business community.
It's a wonderful, I think, sort of symbiotic relationship. Dean Meisner was interested in trying to have some sort of real-world experiences for his students. You know, oftentimes when students are studying business, they read case study after case study after case study. And he wanted an opportunity for the business students to get their hands involved in something sort of real life.
And they are, too.
And they are. And it's been good for everybody.
And I do know the referrals come through the Chamber, and then we refer them out to Piedmont College and to North Georgia Tech. And we must have 15 different projects going now. And I have heard rave reviews from the people, the businesses where your students have done the projects.
Well, and our national accrediting body that accredits schools of businesses at colleges and universities was so intrigued by it that they have featured Piedmont in a segment for their accrediting organization's website. I think there are 7 colleges and universities around the country that were featured, and Piedmont was selected in part because of this wonderful relationship that we have with the community.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And our time is about up, but I want to mention something, that there is a young lady who works at the Chamber who goes to Piedmont College, and we work around her schedule. And recently she went on a trip to Prague as a student and got credit for it. So tell us a little bit about your Studies Abroad program. Well,
we're trying to encourage all of our undergraduate students to experience study travel opportunities, and we have semester abroad at the University of Nottingham in England, but we also have these Maymester trips. That's the one that you mentioned. The business students went to Prague and to Munich in Germany, but we had art students in Japan. We had music students in Italy. I took music students to Paris for a week.
Oh, okay.
And we had German and English literature students in Germany. So it's a wonderful opportunity for our students to see another part of the world.
Well, she certainly had an interesting and a great time, I know that. And Dr. Mellichamp, our time is up. I could talk with you so much longer because so much more is going on at Piedmont College.
Well, we'll have to get together again.
We will. I'll have you back on.
Terrific.
But thank you for coming in today, and congratulations on your new appointment, and best of luck to you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Please stay with us. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Dr. Benny Irwin and staff always make sure to provide service with a smile. One of only 6 combined pediatric dentist orthodontists in the state of Georgia. He has multiple locations throughout the region, including offices in Toccoa and Blairsville. Dr. Irwin seeks to make quality care affordable for all his patients with flexible payment options through Care Credit. Dr. Irwin offers free consultations. He also provides the lowest prices for braces in the northern region of Georgia. So call the team at Dr. Benny Irwin's today, providing patients with beautiful smiles in a fun environment.
I'm so glad my doctor delivers at Chestatee Regional Hospital in Dahlonega. From the moment I arrived, I was pampered by dedicated nurses who really care. A large private room provided a warm and comfortable environment, and they even served a gourmet dinner to celebrate our little girl's arrival. Chestatee Hospital helped make this joyous event more than we ever expected.
We've come a long way, so you don't have to.
I want to play a game.
Thank you for staying with us, and our next guest is the August Member of the Month, and the August Member of the Month is the 9th Grade Academy and Principal Pam Dalton. Pam, welcome to Chamber Chat.
Thank you very much, Dr. Taylor. I'm glad to be here.
Well, congratulations on being Member of the Month.
Thank you.
And the major reason, as you know, there are lots of reasons, but one of the major reasons is because in June you hosted, and the Chamber, I guess you would say, the Chamber and some other agencies sponsored, and you hosted the bicycle ride across Georgia. And that brought 1,200 people, or about 1,200 people, to this county who spent money in Habersham County,
ma'am.
but they camped out at the 9th Grade Academy. And Pam, that took so much work from so many people. Tell us, how did you get your staff to work that hard?
Absolutely. It did take a lot of work with a lot of people. It was very easy. The school system has a wonderful team of people, Dr. Taylor, and
I've learned that.
as you know, when you first talked to us about Bragg coming through Habersham, we were very interested in being a host site, and I just approached, at the time, the interim superintendent, Mr. Larry Hill, and asked him if that would be something that our system could pull together and make happen. And he was extremely willing. He pledged any support that we needed. So we pulled together a team. And that team consisted of department heads from every department imaginable in the school system.
Not just the 9th Grade Academy,
No,
but you
ma'am.
pulled them from like the high school and everywhere.
Yes, ma'am, the high school and the system level as well. For example, we had, at the 9th grade, of course, I worked with the staff there. Dr. Stan Rentz, the assistant principal, was instrumental in helping us with the facilities and to get everything ready. Miss Emily Bennett, who is our administrative assistant, is phenomenal, and she just takes care of all the details. So those were the two there primarily, and then Jolie Cordova, our registrar, pitched in the day that the bike riders came through and helped as we were serving them Chick-fil-A sandwiches and
They
pizza.
loved it.
Yes, ma'am. That was a hit. They were hungry when they got to Habersham.
And I hope you made a little bit of money out
We
of that.
did make a little bit of money.
Okay.
We did. But at the system level, besides Mr. Hill, of course, we had Tim Dockery, who was absolutely fantastic.
Yes, now let's explain who he is. He's not a school bus driver, but
No, ma'am. He's the director of transportation,
yes.
and he worked with his bus drivers and actually had 4 of them who were willing to come out for the Friday and Saturday that the bike riders were here in Habersham
Yes.
and run continuous shuttle service.
They did. And Pam, I heard the riders of the bus, they would, he would take them, we had continuous shuttles going to Clarksville and
Yes,
to Cornelia.
ma'am, we did.
And they would take a group to Cornelia or to Clarksville, and they would come back in and they would talk about how wonderful the bus drivers were.
They had a good time. They enjoyed doing that. So he was instrumental in making that happen. We also had Miss Evelyn Llewellyn, who was the director of custodial services.
Okay, it took a lot of that.
It took a lot of that, and she had custodians who were available and worked through the evening when the bike riders were on our campus and that Saturday to just take care of the details, you know, to be sure restrooms were cleaned and stocked for them so that they would be comfortable and able to use the
Well,
facility.
you were so hospitable. Everybody was talking about how hospitable and friendly the environment
Wonderful.
was. And you were
Wonderful.
so ready for them, too. But let's explain to our audience a little bit about, I guess people are wondering, how did they live at the school or something? But they put up tents everywhere.
Yes, ma'am. If you had ridden by the school that weekend, you would have thought it was a campground. We had tents from one end of the campus to the other. Miss Denise Gunn, over maintenance, had arranged to have a shower truck
Yes.
hook up there.
They could take a shower.
Yes, I think it had 12 showers, and then we also opened the athletic facilities through the assistance of Miss Amy Hood. She arranged to have all of that available so they could shower in the gym areas as well. So we had tents, we had showers, we had food.
And they were sleeping in the halls.
They slept
were
in the hallways,
in the
auditorium.
gymnasiums, everywhere.
Yes, they slept anywhere that they could find a place for their sleeping bag or their cot.
That's right. Well, Pam, I know our time will get by before I ever want it to, but thank you so much for all the help that you did with
Absolutely.
Bragg. But let's talk a little bit about the school system.
Okay.
When this happened in June, you were principal of the 9th grade academy.
Yes, ma'am.
But now I understand that you are no longer there, that the school system has done some organizing,
Yes.
or restructuring.
Yes.
And tell us what you're doing now.
Well, the school system has decided to include 9th grade back under the umbrella of the high school so that we will have a more seamless transition for grades 9 through 12. And part of that reorganization consisted of me being transferred to the position of director of secondary schools, which means that I will work with the principals of the middle schools and the high school with curriculum type issues, testing, and those types of things instead of being principal at the 9th grade. Dr. Stan Rentz will still be the administrator on site at the 9th grade academy, and Jim Van Hooser will be the principal, and the rest of the administrators who serve Habersham Central High School will also serve the 9th grade academy in whatever areas they already
Now, the 9th
specialize
graders
in.
will still be at the academy.
Yes, they will
It's
still
just-
attend at the
yes,
academy.
It's just one administration, so to
Yes,
speak.
we're viewing it almost like a satellite campus, if you will, of Habersham Central.
Well, Pam, we just appreciate all of your efforts, and again, congratulations on being named Member of the Month, most deserving, because you worked so hard getting ready for Bicycle Ride Across Georgia.
Thank you very much. We enjoyed it.
And please convey our appreciation to all those people you named,
I sure will.
and to the new school superintendent, Mr. Cooper,
Yes, I sure will.
and good luck to you this coming year.
Thank you very much.
Please stay with us. We're going to take another short commercial break, and we will be right back.
Shelters are the best places to find a new pet.
What a perfectly beautiful little lady.
That's where you'll discover healthy, loyal, and loving animals.
You little rascal.
Eager to become a part of your family. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet.
Oh, ladies first.
Be that person. Adopt.
This is living. Hey, kid.
To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
What is the Big Green Egg? It's the world's best smoker and grill. The original American ceramic cooker has rewarded its owners with amazing results since 1974. The Big Green Egg is the most unique barbecue product on the market, with more smoker and grill capabilities than any other conventional cookers combined, and it can be used year-round with its weatherproof finish. There's a size and style to fit your needs for a new cooking experience. Check them out today at Bob and Ted's Trophy Shop in Clarksville. If you're looking for a grill, you found.
I'm so glad my doctor delivers at Chestatee Regional Hospital in Dahlonega. From the moment I arrived, I was pampered by dedicated nurses who really care. A large private room provided a warm and comfortable environment, and they even served a gourmet dinner to celebrate our little girl's arrival. Chestatee Hospital helped make this joyous event more than we ever expected.
We've come a long way, so you don't have to.
From around the world news to local entertainment you'll only find on Channel 4. Local people and local service from people in your community you know and trust. Windstream Cable Television.
Thank you for staying with us. Our next guest and our last guest for today are Bonnie Loffredo, Director of Habersham's United Way, and Linda Henry, a great volunteer. Welcome back, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Well, it's been about a year since you've been on.
It has been.
And I hear such good things about Habersham's United Way. I think when you compare it with the counties around, that you will always just really do well and exceed your goal many times. Isn't that right?
Yes, that's correct. That is correct, and that has an awful lot to do with our executive director, Bonnie Loffredo. We have a great board also, but Bonnie's just, everyone recognizes her and has great respect for her in our community.
I'll agree with that, Linda.
Definitely.
I will. And also, my neighbor right across the street, Ethicon.
Yes.
They do a lot to help you meet your goal.
Ethicon is our #1 supporter, and they do, they provide about over 50% of what we raise comes through the endeavors of Ethicon. As a matter of fact, we'll be talking about our upcoming event, Fun Fest.
Yes.
And one of the good things about Fun Fest is that Ethicon matches everything we raise at that event. They match dollar for dollar, and so that's why it's such an important event with our upcoming campaign for 2013,
yes,
2014.
Yes, and we're going to get into that in detail in just a second. But before we get to that, everybody has heard of United Way. But tell us exactly what is United Way and what do you do?
United Way is a nonprofit organization that helps support the good works in a community. Its personality is shaped by the community. Habersham County United Way is shaped by the values of Habersham County. And so it is a local organization run by local people who decide how money is spent, what charities we'll support, and how we'll conduct ourselves in the community. And so I think that Habersham County should be very happy with how their United Way is run and the high standards that the Board of Directors has set for this United Way. It's unique.
Yes, it is, and I think that Habersham County is very happy from all reports that I hear. And I know that you help other agencies, or how many agencies do you help? And just tell us quickly who some of them are.
We were supporting 23 agencies in our community. We now have 25. 2 new ones were approved for this year.
Oh, good.
And so
What were they, Linda?
They were Foothills Counseling and Homework Centers.
Oh,
were the 2.
Homework Centers. Okay, good.
Yes. Yes, and Habitat for Humanity is one of our agencies. Homework Center, Grace Gate,
the free clinic. United Way sits as a pillar to help the nonprofits. For instance, when Linda mentioned Grace Gate, a few years ago, there were a group of doctors and nurses that wanted to start a free clinic, but they needed $25,000 to get it off the ground. And they came to United Way.
Sure.
I mean, there's no other place that you could come to get that kind of help. And our board of directors said, yes, this is just what we would want to support, and gave them that $25 to support. Right now you're seeing in the newspaper articles about the soup kitchen.
Absolutely, and you are providing a home for the new soup kitchen.
And we're trying to be a supporter and an encourager for the people that want to do that. And United Way stands as that organization that is in a unique position here in Habersham County to lend a hand to organizations that want to do big things in Habersham County as far as charitable work is concerned. And we don't just give money to organizations. We totally fund a program called LIFT that's in our high school that maybe people don't know about. Linda, you want to tell them a little bit about our LIFT program?
Yeah, last year we talked about the needs in our community, being one of them being the fact that our graduation class, we're one of the lower.
You need to increase the graduation rate.
Absolutely, and so we took a long, hard look at that, and our board made a decision to invest a lot of money to get a LIFT program started at Habersham Central High School.
Well, you all just do so much good work in so many ways. But let's talk about a big event coming up pretty soon, and it's a fundraiser for United Way, and it's called the Fun Fest. And if you all would tell us a little bit about the who, what, when, why, and where of Fun Fest.
Okay, I guess I'll talk about that since I am the person in charge of the Fun Fest this year.
I'd hate to be in charge of something that big.
Yes, the chairperson for this, but let me tell you that it takes an entire community to pull this off. We worked for months setting up meetings and talking about how we're going to pull this off. It will be held at the Ruby Albright in Clarksville.
At the Aquatic Center.
At the Aquatic Center, and that will be inside, outside, all around. I mean, at the fields, we'll have different activities. It's outside games, inside games. We'll sell food. All the proceeds will benefit your United Way here in Habersham County.
And that's what Ethicon will match dollar for dollar.
Exactly.
It's August the 25th.
Saturday, August the 25th, from 4 until 10. And bring your family. You can feed your family a hot dog, water, and a cookie for $1. I don't know where you can do that anywhere else. I'll tell you, last year Bonnie had a family walk by and say to her, "Thank you so much for doing this. I cannot afford to take my family to Disney World nor to Six Flags, but I can bring them here to Fun Fest." So that's what it's all about.
It is. It's fun for the family. It's wholesome for the family.
It is.
And it raises money.
It is.
For the United Way.
It's our kickoff for 2012 campaign, and so it gives a great boost to our bottom line to raising funds for this community.
Well, good luck this year, and I just wish you all the luck in the world with it. And I appreciate both of you ladies being back on this year. Thank you so much. And I always end with a quote. And in honor of the United Way, my quote today is about charity, and it is by John Bunyan. And it says, "You have not lived until you have done something for someone who can never repay you." Thank you for joining Chamber Chat today, and I'll see you next time.